We now welcome former UFC Women's Strawweight Champion and number 7 ranked contender Carla Esparza. Carla, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We will take the first question from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cage Side Press.
Hey, Cookie Monster, how's it going?
Great, now that I'm out of quarantine.
Talk to me about that. How's the Fight Island experience been for you in terms of, I guess, getting yourself ready during fight week without a lot of the, comforts of doing it at a normal schedule?
Honestly, it really hasn't been too far off of my normal schedule because I got all my training in at home this past week. So I normally take like 2 days off anyway. So I kind of just scheduled it so that my time here would be my rest days. So just kind of it actually hasn't been too bad. And then when we got out of quarantine, like the first thing we did was hit a training session and then jump to the beach.
You just signed the new deal, and I think first congratulations. But I think everyone was surprised because you took aim at Claudia Gadelha, she took aim at you, and the fight didn't happen. Was the UFC just not into it, or what?
I don't think that it's that the UFC wasn't into it. Like I actually was offered this fight with Marina and I was like, like I want to fight Claudia. What's up with that? And apparently she just wasn't ready yet and they told me she wasn't going to be ready for a while. And I was like, can I wait? Like how long is the wait going to be? They're like it's going to be like a while until she's ready to come back. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to sit around and wait for it. Like I want to fight, I want to stay active, I'm ready. Like I didn't take any damage my last fight. Like I want to go.
On the, this one is a big fight in the strawweight division. Obviously, there's a lot of jockeying for position outside of the top three. Do you feel like this one could get you back into that conversation to be one of the players for the title?
Definitely. Yeah, I'm on a good little streak and I think if I have a dominant win, then that will definitely get me back in that conversation.
My final question, obviously the fight got moved around a little bit in terms of the date. Can you just talk about having to make that adjustment in terms of your preparation?
Honestly, like, my phone was getting blown up in the morning by the manager, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, and he kind of explained to me what was going on with their positive tests of her corner and everything, and at first I was stressed out, but I really like started to think about it, and I was like, well, it's kind of a short notice fight anyway. This gives me more time to prepare. And my coach actually had been out of town most of my camp, so I had another week at home with my coach and just more time to prepare at home. And I had a couple little minor like injuries, boo boos. I was just like, like give me a little more time to heal and get my weight down, like I mean, not that the weight is ever an issue, but just kind of get it exactly where I wanted it because I knew I was going to be in quarantine, so not able to train as much. So, everything kind of just worked out, honestly.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you.
We'll take the next set of questions from Gabriel Pangalangan with Dojo Drifter.
Hello from the Philippines, Carla. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? I'm great.
All right. So looking at their opponent's skill set, what part of her arsenal do you think you have to watch out for the most?
I mean, honestly, I think probably her most dangerous part of her arsenal is like her clinch game, like her knees and her elbows are super sharp. She has a really nice clinch. She's been able to kind of frustrate a lot of people in that position.
And when it comes to your game plan, how do you see when you visualize this victory? How do you see yourself winning this weekend?
I've been working on all parts of my game, but I feel like my submissions have been really nice lately. I've been pretty smooth, so I've been working on a certain couple one of them, and I'd love to have my hand raised with one of those.
Yeah, and actually your opponent is undefeated, so you could actually give her that first loss of her career.
Yeah, definitely. It won't be my first time breaking someone's streak, so like always, I go in there to win.
Yes, and I was actually curious because fight weeks can get pretty hectic with open workouts and the the media scrums. Do you prefer this, a more low-key fight week?
I mean, yeah, it is nice just being able to kind of like chill and focus and like all the stuff during fight week is great because, it's just part of the process, but it is nice to just be able to like focus on the fight. It kind of takes me back to my wrestling days, like back in the day, you just showed up, you stepped on the scale, you stepped off, and then time to wrestle. It's just complete focus on what was in front of you. So it is kind of cool, but yeah, I mean, either way, I'm ready to fight because even though we didn't have all the media stuff, I mean, there was a lot of other like, kind of stuff in the way, like the quarantines and testings and this and that.
Yeah, and lastly for me, we saw on your social media that you actually visited the Philippines. Do you think the Philippines would make a nice location for another Fight Island event in the future?
Oh my God. Heck yeah. Like the Philippines is so amazing. One of my favorite destinations on the planet. It's so beautiful and like I think it would be great for a Fight Island event because, like it's, you know, um most people speak English out there. Like it's beautiful, the weather's great. Like I don't really think you can go wrong with the Philippines and, if there is one in the Philippines, count me in.
Well, we definitely hope for that and would look forward to that. Best of luck this weekend, Carla. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we will take our next set of questions from Kamel Abdul Rahman from Sama Al Ain TV.
You.
I'm great.
First of all, welcome to Abu Dhabi. So nice to have you here. Just wanted to ask you, is there anything special you did to prepare for the fight? With the whole mystery of the fight island, the time difference, the jet lag.
There's nothing like specifically I did for that except just making sure to try to get my weight low so that I wasn't sure what we were going to be coming to here. I knew we were going to have like almost 4 days of no training, so I wanted to make sure to get my weight pretty low so that I wouldn't be stressing on that like during fight week.
Cool. Okay, and I would like to have your reflections in general on the development of the strawweight division. With you being one of the pioneers and the first champion, you want to hold the belt for a while, but more recently the belt has been changing hands with Rose and Jessica and Whaley, with a lot of contenders as well throwing their names into the mix. Yeah, how do you feel about the division being more competitive now?
I think it's great for the division. For me, like when you have like that one champion and like a Ronda Rousey or like a Chris Cyborg, like it's great and they're like a star. But for me, having like a few champions and you don't know who's gonna win, like it just makes a whole division and all the matchups more exciting. And I think that's what's made the strawweight division the most exciting of the women's divisions in the UFC.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Enjoy your stay in Abu Dhabi.
Thank you.
And we will take our next questions from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting.
Hey Carla, when you were a kid, we talked, and you fighters who was most outspoken about wanting to stay active and stay busy. Your second fight now during this time period, I know a little COVID-19 thing with your opponent, but are you happy to have this kind of schedule, and would you like to stay on this kind of schedule if everything goes well on Saturday?
Oh, definitely. I love it, like if I come out with no injuries and I'm healthy, like now is the time to take advantage. There's so many fight opportunities for the fighters. Because a lot of people are kind of scared and have concerns about the coronavirus, and a lot of fighters just aren't able to get the training in, so they're just hungry to have fighters on these cards. And if you're willing and you're healthy, like there's opportunity, and I think you got to take advantage of that.
Carla, where you're at in your career, you're a former champion, and I think it's the top six. But you fought Michelle Watterson, who is right around you in the rankings, and now you're fighting Marina, who is a couple spots below you. We hear a lot of fighters, when they get to that top 5 or 6, they're not really interested in fighting people below them in the rankings. They're only focused on what's ahead of them. Why are you willing to take a fight against a Marina where hypothetically, she would gain more from a win over you than you would over her.
Yeah, I definitely think that's true. Like I think another win will just kind of add to my win streak and be great. I wanted to fight Claudia. I think that's a fight that, we both like we all, supposedly we both want it to happen, but I'd rather stay active and just take fights right now than, sit around and kind of and wait unless it's like a huge opportunity like a title fight. I think now is the time to just be active and get some wins under my belt. And not to look past Marina or anything. She's, a very talented fighter, but that's kind of what I'm looking to do. And I'm open and willing to fighting someone who's ranked above me, but I'm not gonna push away opportunity either.
And win streak, 3 wins in a row, and we understand this is part of the sport. Wins and losses, you're going to have those. But what do you feel like has been the biggest difference for you these past few fights, where you've been able to build a streak and beat some really good opponents? I mean, Alexa Grasso, very legit. Obviously, Michelle Watterson, very legit. What do you feel like has been the difference in this win streak for you?
I think after I had my first 2 losses in a row in my career, I just kind of took a step back and really try to make some big changes, because it really made me take a step back and like what's going on, what do I need to do to prevent this from happening again, how am I going to evolve my game, and like where are my holes, and I really think that's made the difference.
And last question, I don't know about Claudia. I know that's a fight you really wanted. She ended up scheduling a fight at the end of September. I imagine you didn't want to wait that long to fight again, but at what point do you feel like that's still the logical next step if everything goes well for you, or do you just at some point have to stop chasing it because it didn't happen?
I'm open to it. I'm not gonna like push that away. But as far as like chasing it goes, I'm not chasing it or her or anything. Like I made my intentions clear and what I wanted, and uh, I didn't know that like when she would be available again. All I was told is that it would be a long time until I would until the fight between us would happen, and I wasn't willing to just kick back and do things on her terms and wait for her till when she was ready. So if it happens again, I welcome it. I've been asking for that fight for a bit, so whatever happens happens.
Thanks, Carla.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carla. That looks like all the questions we had for you. We really appreciate the time.
Cool. Thanks so much.